Well, we wanted to ask a couple of questions about traveling on vacation or just small trips with your kids. I do know that from experience, it is very hard to stick to your routines when you are traveling. So, how does traveling affect baby sleep? And do you recommend sticking to routines when you're on vacation or being a little bit more flexible?
Yes. So there really is no way for sleep to not be disrupted in travel. It's just,
Yeah.
not possible. Some children do sleep better on trips because there's so much high activity. Um, like depending on where you're going, there might be like a lot of sunshine and that can wear kids out and people are like, "Oh, this is like my kid's sleeping great." But generally do your best to stick to a routine as best as you can, but still enjoy, time with family and make memories. Don't like, your entire vacation doesn't have to revolve around your child's naps, but this is also a time when you really have to know your child. If you have a very, very sensitive child who is going to be melting down the entire evening if they miss a nap or they're past their bedtime or something like that, then it's not worth it, really. It can be like, okay, well, we're out at dinner, we're out doing this thing, but my child is absolutely exhausted, so this is really not enjoyable for anybody. That's when like, divide and conquer. Like if, you're with your spouse or your partner, like have one of you go back to where you're staying and do naps while the other one takes, the other kids to an activity or something. So sometimes you might have to miss things. Sometimes, like I said, one is staying back with a napping child, or one is leaving early to get them to bed or something like that. Um, you don't have to do it all. And I always say, like, if you're with family, like, you know, you're the one that has to deal with your child in the middle of the night and like throughout the time. So don't let them make you feel guilty for having to leave early if that's something you decide to do. Like, you know your child best and you know what they're going to be able to handle. So just kind of keep that in mind as well.
And when you mentioned the divide and conquering, what products or routines help create the consistency for babies while away from home, in terms of the nap time and if they're
Yeah.
fussy, like you mentioned at dinner?
Yeah. So definitely, blackout shades is a big one because you usually when you're traveling, there aren't built-in blackout shades wherever your child is staying. I mean, certainly if you're like with family, they might have that, done before you get there or something. But there's so many different options of travel blackout shades that you can bring. Definitely their sleep space is important. So like a lot of hotels will provide like a crib, but it's usually not the most comfortable crib. So bringing like a pack and play that your child is familiar with, bedding that's comfortable and your child is, familiar with as well. If they're older, like a lovey, if they're over 12 months, like something like that, or like a blanket that's going to help them. Swaddles and sleep sacks, just like remembering, it's so hard to remember all those little items, but um, you just want to try to replicate. It's not going to be the same, but trying to replicate, like using white noise, um, all of those things are going to give your child a better chance at having kind of similar sleep to what they would have at home if you can try to just like prepare in advance for those things.
And I feel like the bedding you mentioned, I wouldn't have never thought of that. That's a good
Yeah.
point because they're familiar with the scent and the feeling of them.
Yeah. Even just like we'll bring sheets usually for our younger kids. We have like an inflatable mattress that we'll bring for our toddler, that she's used to, and we'll bring our own sheets and stuff because you just never know with what's provided. Like, is it going to be comfortable? Is it like for us, we don't use any scented detergent or anything. So like sometimes that's like a big factor. Like, oh, this is like highly scented and my child can't sleep on it or something like that. So a lot to think about.
Yeah, I've just accepted that like traveling with kids, you just have to bring like half your home with you.
Yeah,
There's so much
basically.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're always going to forget something too. So,
Oh,
yeah.
never fails.
Yeah.
Totally.